Reviewing fraction operations, we're going to first start by drawing equivalent fractions, and we're going to show multiplying factors. So when we have the fraction 3 over 4, I can draw this as 4 parts that make up the whole, and then 3 parts that make up the parts. So there's my 3/4 fraction. And I can make an equivalent fraction by starting with my 3/4 like this, my 3 out of 4. And I can use a multiplying factor of times 2 times 2. And that's going to give me 6 out of 8, which is an equivalent fraction. I can show that by dividing all the parts, the numerator, by 2 to give my 6 parts here. And then dividing all the parts to get the 8 parts that make up the whole. So there's my 8 parts that make up the whole. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. There's my numerator 6. My 2/3 fraction, I'm going to make my 2/3 fraction like this. So I have 2 parts shaded. And I'm going to make an equivalent fraction. I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. I'm going to make this into 4 parts out of 6. So I still need the exact same area shaded because I want the equivalent fraction. I'm going to times by 2 here, times by 2 here. So I get 4 out of 6. To show that, I'm just going to divide all these parts into 1/6 fractions. So there's my 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6, and I've drawn my equivalent fraction and shown my multiplying factor. Here I'm going to maybe do it like this. I've got 12 parts, and 6 of those I'm going to shade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I can multiply and make this into bigger terms, but I can also divide. So I'm going to group this into groups of 6, and I'm going to group this into groups of 6. And when I do that, my original fraction now becomes 1 part. That all becomes 1 part out of 2 parts whole. So then I end up with 1/2 as my simplified fraction.